In the Ottawa-Gatineau region, where people are busy cleaning up after the havoc caused by Friday's tornadoes.
We were in the kitchen and all of a sudden I grabbed my wife, something wasn't right, so we ran to the family room and all the windows blew out. It's like a movie on top of us, and then we ran for the basement, and as we were running for the basement, you look outside and picture 25 massive pine trees just like all flying through the air and hitting things, and yeah, very scary.
Just one of the many people sharing their terrifying tornado experiences. Destruction, panic, and fear, all common threads among those accounts. Dozens of homes now destroyed. Some families have lost everything. And while considerable progress has been made, it could be days before power is fully restored. So, how long could the recovery take? There is still no set timeline. Katie Simpson traveled to one of the neighborhoods that was hit especially hard. She has more on the tasks ahead for the homeowners.
This is one of the hardest hit neighborhoods in Ottawa. It's a suburb about 25 minutes from the downtown core, and you can see lots of big, old, heavy trees have come down. Neighbors say that it sounded like a train when the tornado made its way through this area. Many homes have lost windows. You can see on some of the garages, emergency crews have written gas off so that emergency crews know when they come in to do the cleanup which houses have been taken care of and where the gas is off, so that's one less thing that they have to worry about. I'm going to bring in Donna. Donna, come on over here. Donna lives here in this house. Donna, what was it like on Friday night?
It was quite amazing because we had the warning, so went into the basement, then they lifted the warning. I came out of the basement, went upstairs waiting for my husband to come home, and then I heard this noise. So I opened the door to see what was going on, and the noise got louder. I knew that it was a tornado, and I went running into the basement, and literally seconds after I heard like explosion of glass and banging because the trees were hitting the roof. It took off the back of our roof. And in the kitchen, it's a real mess. And, a lot of our windows, our siding are gone. Part of the roof is gone. Holes in the roof. And like everything had a distinct noise to it, if you know what I mean. It was just surreal.
Everyone in your family is safe and accounted for, and there's no injuries?
Thank God. Yeah, I mean, my husband was coming home. He was driving through some of it, so his car was sort of battered with some tree branches as he was driving into the neighborhood. Couldn't get anywhere near, parked near the corner, and just waited until I was able to open the door, and he came in so we could get some stuff out.
All right, I want you to show me a couple of things here. You were saying, so if we can take a look, see that piece of metal right there? What were you telling me about that right there, right beside the tree?
Absolutely no idea what that is. And I don't know where it's from. I don't believe it's from our next door neighbor. So it's probably from somewhere down the street. It blew out here. There are huge holes in the ground behind it where there must have been, very deep tree roots. So our tree is obviously in pieces here. We had a huge, tall blue spruce there. And all the trees from the ravine behind the house have literally fallen towards the house. So not only ours are down, but all the ones from the ravine area are down on top of ours. It's like this pile up in the back.
I realize this might be a strange question at this point, but what do you guys do from here? What happens next for you guys?
Well, I called the insurance, and they're supposed to be sending over some contractors to board up the windows because they're smashed and secure the house. And then we'll go from there. They have to get an arborist to take the tree off the roof and cover up the holes in the roof with tarps. We're staying at my son and daughter-in-law's. They don't have power, but they have a warm welcome, and they're just amazing to be with. So that's a bonus for me to have time with them. And, thank God the other kids are all in their places, safe and sound. One's in Toronto, one's near the Dow's Lake area, and they're fine. So it's all good.
All right, well, thank you very much, Donna. And with that, it's going to be a long time before this cleanup is complete, and certainly emergency crews are going to be in this area for quite some time. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Ottawa.
Natasha Fatah tracking the latest on the cleanup heading forward today. Natasha, what are we looking for and what's the latest?
Well, as you heard from Katie, the cleanup crews are on the ground. Many of them have been working through the night, but the police are also on the ground, and specifically in Dunrobin, Ontario, which was one of the first areas hit, because it's such a dangerous situation. You have all that debris on the ground. You have parts of homes all across the streets. You have people trying to get to their homes to see what they can save. The rescue operators, and then also people coming in to just take a look, John. Everyone's curious about what happened in these communities. So they're asking people to to stay away if they don't need to be in the area at that time. Now, even though the power has been shut down and has been knocked out in many of these locations, we have updated numbers on how many people continue to be without power. 70,000 according to Hydro Ottawa, 11,000 customers according to Hydro Quebec, and then west of Ottawa, these numbers coming from Hydro One, about 3,700 customers continue to be without power. They say prepare yourselves, it's going to be multiple days before the outage is completely rectified. We know that the Gatineau shelter is hosting about 600 people using their services as a result of what you're seeing on your screen. People cannot go into their homes. It is not safe to do so, and they don't know when they'll be able to get back in. In the meantime, the confirmation we received from Environment Canada is that, in fact, it was 2 separate tornadoes that hit down in this area between Ontario and Quebec on Friday evening. The more powerful one is the one that hit Dunrobin with wind speeds of 265 kilometers per hour. You saw the damage it did. Within a span of 40 minutes, complete communities destroyed, everyone sort of running for the hills, trying to take shelter, trying to get to safety. And then the other tornado was west of the main Ottawa area in Arlington Woods neighborhood. Slightly less powerful, but still 220 kilometers per hour, John. Imagine a projectile coming at you at that speed. How dangerous and scary it would be. And now, of course, the focus is on the cleanup.
Now, we know that Quebec's political leadership, in the middle of a campaign, suspended campaign activities and visited the scene on their side of the border. What are we looking for in Ontario's leadership today?
We know that Ontario's Premier Doug Ford is going to be making his way over to the affected areas. We've just found out from his team that he won't be there before noon. So it's going to be a few hours before we see him on the ground, before we get any comment, we believe. But he has, in the meantime, invoked the Disaster Recovery Assistance Program for those Ontarians who've been affected by the 2 tornadoes. And as you mentioned, Philippe Couillard, the current premier who's running for re-election, did go to some of the affected areas on the Quebec side yesterday.